On a dark winter morning, in a lonely prison cell, Mary, Queen of Scots, arose to write what would inevitably become her last letter. She was to be executed at break of day just hours later by command of her lifelong rival and cousin, Queen Elizabeth I. Mary had been charged and found guilty for plotting to murder the reigning Queen of England in several failed attempts, and since the English government feared the growing threat to stability that the disgraced Queen of Scots imposed, she could not be allowed to live. The rivalry between the two queens was a direct result of the contest for the throne of England, which was further intensified by their opposing religious beliefs. For Mary was a Roman Catholic and Elizabeth a Protestant. The following letter, penned down by Mary, Queen of Scots herself at 2 a.m. on Wednesday the 8th of February 1587, was directed to her brother-in-law, Henry III, King of France. Sire, my brother-in-law, having by God's will, for my sins I think, thrown myself into the power of the Queen my cousin, at whose hands I have suffered much for almost 20 years, I have finally been condemned to death by her and her estates. I have asked for my papers which they have taken away in order that I might make my will, but I have been unable to recover anything of use to me, or even get leave either to make my will freely or to have my body conveyed after my death as I would wish to your kingdom, where I had the honor to be queen, your sister and old Ellie. Tonight, after dinner, I have been advised of my sentence. I am to be executed like a criminal at 8 in the morning. I have not had time to give you a full account of everything that has happened, but if you will listen to my doctor and my other unfortunate servants, you will learn the truth, and how, thanks be to God, I scorn death and vow that I meet it innocent of any crime, even if I were their subject. The Catholic faith and the assertion of my God-given right to the English crown are the two issues on which I am condemned, and yet I am not allowed to say that it is for the Catholic religion that I die, but for fear of interference with theirs. The proof of this is that they have taken away my chaplain, and although he is in the building, I have not been able to get permission for him to come and hear my confession and give me the last sacrament, while they have been most insistent that I receive the consolation and instruction of their minister brought here for that purpose. The bearer of this letter and his companions, most of them your subjects, will testify to my conduct at my last hour. It remains for me to beg your most Christian Majesty, my brother-in-law and old Ellie, who have always protested your love for me, to give proof now of your goodness on all these points. Firstly, by charity, in paying my unfortunate servants the wages due to them. This is a burden on my conscience that only you can relieve. Furthermore, by having prayers offered to God for a queen who has borne the title most Christian and who dies a Catholic, stripped of all her possessions. As for my son, I commend him to you insofar as he deserves, for I cannot answer for him. I have taken the liberty of sending you 2 precious stones, talismans against illness, trusting that you will enjoy good health and a long and happy life. Accept them from your loving sister-in-law, who, as she dies, bears witness of her warm feeling for you. Again, I commend my servants to you. Give instructions, if it please you, that for my soul's sake, part of what you owe me should be paid, and that for the sake of Jesus Christ, to whom I shall pay for you tomorrow as I die, I be left enough to found a memorial mass and give the customary alms. This Wednesday, 2 hours after midnight, your very loving and most true sister, Mary.